Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, September the 13th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. I have a lot of good eBay topics I'd like to present tonight. And I'm going to start off by telling you guys why you should never, ever offer free returns or partial refunds. These are two things I've been dead set against forever, and we'll talk more about that. I'm also going to do one cutaway that's going to cover three topics, and those topics are: number one, a new feature eBay has been unveiling recently involving giving buyers more time to pay for our items. Second thing I'm going to show you is another example of an older geriatric eBayer disregarding all my hard put information and buying something that he cannot possibly use. And lastly, I'm going to show you all the current returns I have open. And the reason I want to show you that is that actually highlights why I will never offer free shipping. Okay? I also have a couple of other topics I want to touch on if I have time. And one of them is people who circumvent the best offer button and contact you and say things like, "Is the price negotiable?" Not kidding. So yeah, let's get started. I think what I'll do is I'm going to start off with the cutaway because there are three topics included in the cutaway. So I'm not going to say another word now. We're going to go right to the cutaway. I want you to view it, absorb it. Then I'm coming back and I'm going to touch on all 3 points that I've made. Guys, in this cutaway, I'm going to cover 3 different topics at once, so please pay attention to the screen at all times. We'll start off with something new that eBay has just started, and that is what I call delayed or deferred payment if you get paid at all. So take a look here and you'll see that an eBay buyer sent me a counter offer of $17.50 for this particular item. I think I was asking $25 for it, but once again, the dreaded love note strikes, and he says, "I'd like to be at $25 total with shipping. This is pretty scratched up. I think it's a reasonable deal." So to be honest with you, I had no problem accepting this particular person's offer, so I accepted it. But now look, down here it says, you can accept more than one of these. The first buyer to check out gets the item, which means when I accepted this offer on Monday, the item still stayed live on the shelf for other legitimate buyers to come in and purchase in case this guy doesn't pay. And needless to say, he never paid. This is the 3rd time in 2 weeks I have been stiffed by this new feature, and I'd like to know if you guys have encountered it, and if you have, what luck have you had? Have you made any sales this way? As I said, I've had 3 of them, and I've not had a single person pay yet. I'm also wondering if anybody knows whether these people will get an unpaid item strike. Not that it means anything, but in my opinion, this is just encouraging buyers not to pay. Okay? Let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be something that I'm going to draw a little heat for, but you have to understand my position, please. Okay? It has to do with older people disregarding all my information, and I'm sick of it. Take a look at the title of the listing. One center cap for 1982 to 1985 Cadillac Eldorado 15-inch wire spoke hubcaps. This buyer sent me a best offer. I had the item listed for $22 because the item had some blemishes and fading. As I said, I listed it for $22. He sent me an offer of $17. Okay, I had no problem accepting that. All right? Now, take a look. The buyer note. Look what he filled in his vehicle. 1989 Cadillac Fleetwood. Cadillac Fleetwood 1989. It clearly says 82 to 85 Eldorado. There's no way in hell this item would fit. Now, as soon as I saw what he's driving, I knew the guy was going to be older than history. And I'll prove my point in a second. But anyhow, what really irked me was, let's just say for argument's sake, the item did fit this car. This is a highly sought after item, and no way would he have gotten it for my starting price of $22. But in his mind, he wasn't even willing to spend the $22 for this item when it would easily go double that on eBay. All right, so what happens next? I write to the guy and I wrote this. I have a question for you. Why did you state you have a 1989 Cadillac Fleetwood when the item you purchased only fits 1982 to 1985 Eldorado? Certainly you don't think that this item is going to fit your car, because there's no way that it would. If I did list one to fit your car, I'd be charging 3 times what I'm asking for this one. And that's the God's honest truth, okay? Unbelievable. So he wrote back to me the next day and said, if it doesn't fit, cancel the sale, which I did do. And I wrote back to him and said, listen, buddy, you better be careful from now on, and you better read the listings, okay? So, as far as how I know how old he was, I Googled his name and address to see what came up. Does anybody want to take a guess how old he is? 70? No, I got no problem with people 70. 75? Nope, I got no problem with people 75. 82 years old. That is why some of you people think that maybe I'm a little bit too dictatorial and nasty when it comes to elderly buyers, but I only ask you guys to please put yourself in my shoes for a few minutes and think how angry and frustrated you would be if you went to the trouble of listing your items correctly with every single piece of information to have these older people disregard all of it and try and cause a problem. All right, next topic. I said there would be 3. The next topic has to do with returns. I want you to see how many returns I have open right now. And this is just right now. Thankfully, these are legitimate returns because the buyers are admitting they purchased the wrong item. Here's one for $13.50. Keep in mind the buyer is spending about $8 each way to return this item. Next one, doesn't fit. $50 return. This person claims it doesn't fit his wheel. However, I think he's got the wrong wheels on the vehicle because these are made to fit a Nash and only a Nash. This one, $22.50 back. I clearly have the measurements in the listing and he says they're too big for his wheels. All he had to do was get off his butt, go downstairs and measure his wheels, but nope, that's too much work. This one's probably the most interesting so far. This one spent $50 for the 2 items, plus whatever the shipping was. Let's say it's $15. I had the part number and I had a picture of the wheel, and he went ahead and purchased the wrong one anyway. And yes, he was approximately 80 years old, and eBay had the item toggled for me to give him his full shipping back because he purchased it and he entered 99 Cadillac in the description field, even though that car comes with about 6 different wheels. So I went ahead and toggled that shipping right off. I'm not giving that money back because he made a mistake. And as you can see, it's not going to close out on its own. It's waiting for buyer to confirm refund, or it'll time out if he doesn't confirm. Next one, $31.50. Buyer says it doesn't fit, which it does fit. I don't know what his problem is, but you'll notice 4 of the 5 people have not even sent anything back yet. This guy has, okay? This guy has sent his back. I've got it already. I've given him the $50 refund. Waiting. He has, although I didn't get it back yet. He hasn't. All right, so it's 3 out of 5 that haven't shipped them back yet. 1's in transit, okay? This I'm not really concerned about, but I honestly don't know how these people make so many stupid mistakes. When I go through the crazy trouble of putting in the part numbers, the wheel these things fit, measurements when applicable, it can be very, very frustrating, guys. Please put yourself in my position before you start judging me about why I don't like dealing with older people, because they don't know what they're doing. Plain and simple. Let's get back to the video. All right, guys, what do you think about those 3 topics? Firstly, eBay's new feature, giving buyers extra time to pay, but yet leaving our items up on the shelf. I have mixed feelings about this, mostly negative, because why should a buyer be given 4 days to pay? Why can't eBay just as easily require immediate payment as leaving our items up on the shelf for serious eBay buyers to come along and buy? I told you I've been having bad luck with this feature. What I need to clarify is after I filmed that section, I filmed the cutaway earlier today. About an hour after I filmed the cutaway, the person who made the offer on the Toyota alloy wheel hub actually paid. I think they waited 3 days, or maybe close to 4. But still, I don't mind accepting counter offers. I have no problem dickering on price, but I think people should be made to pay right away. Now, as far as the geriatric eBay buyer is concerned, I want to explain something to you guys. I don't have a thing against older people per se. I have no problem with people 75, 80 years old. In fact, let me tell you something real quick. My doctor is 77 years old. My land use attorney is 77 years old. My accountant is 80 years old. Every one of these individuals functions as good as you and me or better. They're regular people. They get up, they go to work every day. They're multimillionaires. They don't even need to go to work. They're wonderful people. And I'm willing to bet if any one of these 3 went on to eBay to buy something, they'd be able to do it in a heartbeat. Okay? And that's great. But there are some people that just can't handle it. You know I'm right. Just like I couldn't do plumbing or electrical work, and I admit that, because I'm a good man and I know my limitations, all right? So you saw the example where I listed that Cadillac cap as an 82 to 85 Eldorado. And this guy, who's 82 years old, totally blows off all my hard work and information and tries to put it on an 89 Fleetwood. The thing that upsets me, and this is the point I'm trying to convey, not that he put all my work to the side and ignored it. He's just stupid, I get that. Hey, it's part of doing business online. But to use the example of a Rolex watch and a Timex watch, I have to use this example because most of you won't understand it when it comes to car parts. But make believe a seller puts up a beautiful Rolex watch. The thing is worth $10,000 and the seller doesn't know it. He puts it up for, let's say, $200. A person comes along, oh my God, it's a Rolex for $200. And instead of snapping it up for the $200, they have the unmitigated gall to send the seller an offer for $100. Now you have to admit that would be absolutely insane. That's what's happening in these cases. These people think they're purchasing expensive parts, which I had only listed for $22. That would have been less than half of what that would go for if it was the correct item. Instead of snapping it up, which would have been at least an honest mistake, this guy here is so freaking cheap, he offers $15, and that's really what sets me off. So yeah, this is a problem I've been having. Guys, before you judge me and say I'm a hater or anything, just please take a few minutes, put yourself in my position. How would you feel if you did all this work on these listings to make everything just right, and consistently it was these older people doing this to you? You know I'm right, okay? Just think how you would feel, okay? And the last topic is my returns. I showed you 5 of them. There was actually 6, but 1 closed out. Although the people were honest and telling the truth, think about that. I would be on the hook for shipping both ways if I offered free shipping. How long could I keep up that business model? Answer, not very long. I can't do it. And nobody in eBay Motors could do it. However, you guys in collectibles, you could do it. So yeah. Now let's talk about some new things that happened during the week. I want to talk about partial refunds. You guys know how I'm dead set against partial refunds. I was just talking to Gary, the coin guy, the other day. He emailed me with a story. A guy bought his expensive coin and had the unmitigated gall to want $2 back off the price. And Gary used his brain. He said, no, if you're not satisfied with the coin, send it back. I'll give you a full refund. I told Gary, I said, he'll never send it back. And I was right. The guy went away. He picked up his tent, threw his belongings over his arm, and he walked away. When people ask for partial refund, guaranteed they don't want to send the item back. So here's what happened to me. You may remember, some of you, that a few days ago, which was Sunday, I put out a video when I went to the New York City Historic Bus Show. It was a beautiful, gorgeous Sunday. I was looking forward to this day for a long time. I went with my friend. We had a great time. So what happens on the one day of the week that I'm not working and I'm trying to enjoy myself? At around 11 o'clock in the morning, I get a message from a buyer on Sunday freaking morning saying one of the 4 items arrived damaged. I sold him 4 alloy wheel center caps, and he's saying one of the 4 arrived damaged, okay? And he's not being very kind about it. He's not saying, hey Joe, one of them arrived damaged. Do you think you could help me out and maybe send a replacement? He's giving me all kinds of lip that I should be careful how I pack them, this and that. You know, I mean, I'm trying to enjoy myself here at my freaking bus show, and I got to deal with some irate person on a Sunday morning. I said to him, listen, buddy. Naturally, I'm on mobile app. I said, listen, if you're not satisfied with the items, send them back, and I will give you a full refund. Okay? What happens next? A chain of emails, contacts like you wouldn't believe with this clown. He don't want to send them back. He wants me to give him $15 back, partial refund, for the one he says is damaged. And of course, he's talking about feedback. I'm going to have to leave you bad feedback if you don't give me $15 back, this and that. And for you guys who don't know it, back in the old days, anytime a buyer threatened negative feedback, if you didn't condescend to his demands, eBay would remove the feedback, which was great. They don't do that anymore. They say it's the buyer's prerogative. The only way they would remove it is if the buyer asked for something above and beyond. For instance, if he would have said, Joe, you sent me 4 hubcaps. I want you to send me another 4 for free, or I'm going to leave you negative feedback. well then that would probably constitute removal. But just because he's complaining about the one that he already paid for, 1 out of 4, it won't. Please trust me on this, okay? Welcome to the new eBay. So anyway, I said to him, listen, what's going on? I said, you're not happy with 1, you're happy with 3. I get that. I said, if you want to send them back, send them back. I'll give you the full money back. Because I know he didn't want to send them back. And he says, he said something like this, I will put this in writing. If you send me $15 back right now, well, he didn't say right now. If you send me back $15, this will all go away and I'll be happy. All right? I was pissed off. Not so much because of his attitude, which was bad, but because he's harassing me when I'm trying to have fun one freaking day out of the month. All right? So, I decided, one thing I learned, rush deals never work. Let me say that one more time. Rush deals never work. I took my phone, I jammed it back in my pocket, and I put this guy right out of my mind. I said, I'll worry about him when I go home. I spent the rest of the day at the show, had a great time, got home, did a couple of things here. I get another message from this guy. I changed my mind. I want $30 back. I decided to look closely at the other 3, and I'm not satisfied with another one. So I'm going to need $30 back, not just $15. When he said that, the cork came out of the bottle, and I just went absolutely wacky. I said, is something wrong with you? I said, there must be something wrong with you. I said, earlier you told me, and you put it in writing, you wanted $15 back for 1 cap you claimed was bad. Now you've totally changed it. Now you're saying you want 2, you want $30 back. Let me tell you something, buddy. I said, you're not getting any money back. I'm not giving you a penny. I said, I will give you a full refund, and I will pay the shipping if you send them back to me. Otherwise, it's a no-go. I said, and one more thing. I said, has it escaped your notice that you had to contact me on a Sunday morning, my 1 day off? I get 1 day off a week to hang out with my friends, and you got to harass me like crazy on a Sunday over a $15 hub that you said was broken? I said, send them back, I'll give you the full money, and we can both go on our way. I was upset. I'm not going to lie to you, I was upset. I knew from the very beginning he didn't want to send these things back. I'm not even sure any of them were broken. He said one was broken. Okay, I took his word for that. I ain't taking it for 2. I know there wasn't 2 broken. All right, that ain't happening. He writes back to me, listen, I thought about what you said, and you were right. You were right. I should have waited another day and contacted you on a regular work day instead of Sunday when you had your 1 day off. I shouldn't have harassed you. And you're also right. I'm not going to send them back. I'm going to keep them, and I'm going to eat them. He said something like that. I'm going to eat the ones that are broken. I'm going to keep them. And that was the end of that. Cup of coffee. It is rough to sell in eBay Motors. There's money to be made, but it's rough. One more thing I want to cover, and I know this is running a little longer than you probably wish. Nag messages are going through the freaking roof. I'm sick of it. It's to the point, let me tell you how bad it is on eBay. And the nag messages are from eBay, not from eBay buyers. If I look at an item that I want to buy, all right, let's say it's going to end in 3 days. In the old days, I just put it in my watch list. Well, guess what? I can't even put things in my watch list anymore. That's how bad and freaking greedy and money hungry eBay has gotten for a sale. They will nag you incessantly if you put that in your watch list and even if you don't. So I saw this item on Sunday that I wanted, and I said, oh, I'm going to outfox eBay. I said, I'm not putting it in my watch list. I wrote down the date and time that the item was going to end. All right, on a piece of paper. I said, I'll put it right here. This way I'll catch it when it's going to end. This way I won't get nag messages. Within 1 hour, I hear the piano music. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, somebody's offering me money. It's a best offer, or it's a customer with a legit question. It ain't a customer, it's eBay. Recently viewed. Here are the titles of the nag messages I've been getting incessantly. Recently viewed is the worst. Second worst, don't let this item get away. Third worst is, this item is still available. Bid to win. These messages are aggravating and counterproductive and make me not want to buy the item, not want to do it. Whoever in the eBay hierarchy came up with this idea of nagging buyers, man, you don't even belong at the conference table, okay? You don't, because you don't know what it's like to buy and sell online. It's just pathetic. And it's not just me. I have a friend of mine who I constantly kid around with who sells on eBay Motors, and we take screenshots of our nag messages and we shoot them back and forth to each other. And usually if I get one, half an hour later he gets one. It's just crazy. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. I sure hope you found this video informative and entertaining. I try and make my videos lively and off the cuff. You'll notice I don't read off a piece of paper. I don't edit. It's not choppy. This is one take right through. What happens, happens. So, that being said, guys, leave your comments, questions, and concerns below on any of the eBay topics I brought up, or on any of the eBay topics you want to talk about. Something just came into my mind I should bring up, and it's very bad. And who's it going to affect? eBay Motors sellers. I have read on the community boards that eBay will no longer remove unfair negative feedback when buyers buy something and it doesn't fit their vehicle. So for instance, if they buy a left-hand side taillight, they get it, and they try and put it on the right side and it doesn't fit, and they leave a negative, too bad. Welcome to the world of eBay Motors. Thanks for watching, guys. Rock on and peace.